John Corey Whaley's Where Things Come Back is a story consisting of two different plots that come together in the end, ultimately united under the encompassing theme of maintaining hope to preserve happiness and innocence. I find this theme to be relevant in many real-life situations as well, especially at a young age when we begin to contemplate the existence of Santa Claus. So how can we draw that parallel between believing in Santa and the presence or lack of hope exhibited by many of the characters in Whaley's novel? Let's begin with the significance of Santa Claus himself. Old St. Nick is the father of Christmas, a year-long anticipated holiday known for bringing people together and instilling optimism, appreciation, and generosity in the hearts of all who celebrate. We see the same qualities in several esteemed symbols presented in the book. A primary example is the Lazarus bird. Although there is no definite proof of its existence, it sure sounds like it's worth believing in. The whole town of Lily comes together to celebrate the bird's supposed arrival, throwing festivals and fun runs, even getting the same strange haircut and color. So why would one question the truth behind the spotting of this silly little bird when it has brought so much unity and its purpose to this otherwise insignificant small town? We find similar characteristics in Gabriel as well. When Gabe goes missing, the town comes together and extends their friendly apologies and prayers. Even Cullen's crush, Ada Taylor, offers him a shoulder to cry on. In order to be content with the circumstances present as a result of Gabriel's disappearance, Cullen says he would comfort himself by imagining that his brother had in fact just gotten fed up with them and run away. Every time he doubted that Gabe was alive, he maintained hope by convincing himself to believe Gabriel was walking the streets of New York City, getting a job as a mailboy, going to night classes, and eventually having a family of his own. This is similar to the actions we take to prove to ourselves that we still believe in Santa and preserve the happiness of Christmas traditions, such as leaving cookies out, sprinkling reindeer food on your front lawn, hanging stockings, and decorating the tree. So if the Lazarus woodpecker and Gabriel are Santa, then the unification of the small town, the newfound fame of Lily, the budding romance between Cullen and Ada, and the widow's ability to optimistically continue on with life as a result of the hopeful presence of the woodpecker and return of Gabriel could be considered the presents you find under the tree Christmas morning. The hope and belief that Santa is real is what stimulates you to value those presents and naively appreciate the magic of Christmas morning in the same way the hopeful return of the Lazarus woodpecker and the belief that Gabriel will eventually make his way home allow the characters in Whaley's novel to value the positivity associated with believing in the impossible may actually be possible. In other words, the loss of hope would disrupt the balance and stability of the current hopeful societal state, making all of the presence of the given situation not so enjoyable. We can see how influential failed hope can be when we look at Cullen's Aunt Julia, who was robbed of all hope when her son, also, dies in the beginning of the novel. One day, when Cullen visits to bring her dinner, she's careless and disheveled. She claims, "They all expect us to pretend it's okay, and that it's going to be alright. Well, it's not. Nothing's alright anymore. I hate this house. I hate this town." We can say, metaphorically, she stopped believing in Santa. Like any child who finds out Santa isn't real, Christmas is never the same anymore. There is no more hope for miracles or magic on that special day, and although you still get presents and your family still comes together, you just won't appreciate it the way you did when you laid in bed with one eye open on Christmas Eve, hoping Santa would come down your chimney bearing an abundance of gifts. In other words, after Aunt Julia's son had overdosed, she also stopped believing in the potential miracles and magic life has to offer. Now let's take a look at the second story that makes up this novel, the story of Cabot Circe. When we were first introduced to Cabot, he was an irresponsible, attention-seeking, game-playing college student. After his roommate, Benton Sage, committed suicide because of the stress associated with spreading the word of God, Cabot decided to take on his mission, hoping he could redeem himself from his playboy reputation. As he immerses himself deeper and deeper in the Book of Enoch and the words of Benton's journal, he becomes dependent on his hope that God has a plan for him. God becomes the equivalent of Santa Claus for Cabot. Both God and Santa are these all-knowing entities that have the power to control your destiny. You hope that all of your good deeds will get you into heaven or onto Santa's nice list. God, looking down from heaven, receives prayers in return for miracles and forgiveness, whereas Santa, residing in his North Pole kingdom, receives letters in return for gifts. This metaphorical Christmas present Cabot hopes to receive from God is a sense of purpose, a sense that he has a place in the world, and the power to do good and make a difference. Cabot's belief that God has a plan for him is similar to a child's belief that Santa will have fulfilled his duties in placing presents under the tree Christmas morning. There are so many reasons to remain hopeful that Santa does exist. The handwriting on your presents every year definitely is not your parents', and you find bites taken out of the cookies you made for him. Similarly, Cabot finds every reason to preserve the hope that God has a plan for him, especially after accidentally kidnapping Gabriel thinking he must be the left-hand man of God himself. Cabot sees what may happen as a result of hope failing him after Benton's suicide. He even says to Gabriel towards the end of the novel, "Benton killed himself for this. He just left, just like that. He gave up, but I figured it out. I'm the one to make things right. Cabot is consumed by his hope in God's plan because he refuses to accept the same fate of disappointment and dissatisfaction as Benton. This is like when children so confidently believe in Santa Claus because they refuse to risk getting coal in their stockings. They need the satisfaction of finding presents under the tree.